Hey, we're back again with another video. I'm coming to you live from an undisclosed location in the United States. The NYPD is out of control, and we, the people, need to do something about it. Let's get into it. All right, guys, how are you all doing today? Excuse my background. I'm traveling, holding government officials across this great country accountable. So stay tuned for further videos on that. But I was sent this article. This is not a news story. This is actually a case from 2020. This is from Hellgate, written by Nick Pinto. But the reason why it's relevant is because it ties into what we're working towards. What we, the people, are working towards is transparency and accountability in the NYPD. They are arresting anyone who's filming them, whether you're in the precinct or on the sidewalk, as you'll see in a video I will share with all of you. It's completely despicable, their actions. They act like a gang and thugs, not like law enforcement officers who took an oath to uphold the United States Constitution. So let's get right into it. We have the NYC, New York City Public Advocate over here. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the video. I can't show you the whole thing. I will link it in the description below if you want to watch the whole body camera footage. It is heartbreaking, honestly.
Just from the department? Body cameras, ma'am, body cameras are now on. Body cameras are now, okay, no. Our body cameras are now filming, I'm letting you know. You see right there? You see that?
You can't record. Ma'am, we're asking you to leave. You're not leaving, and you're not allowed to record.
See the sign behind her, ladies and gentlemen? That sign, members of the public are prohibited from audio and video recording inside of the police precinct. That sign is posted in every precinct that I've been to, including the 61st precinct where I was arrested. This was actually at the 62nd precinct.
Turn around.
I just hit a face. I was 2 days ago.
Put up your mask. Ma'am, all you have to do is cooperate. You did this to yourself.
All you had to do was cooperate. You did this to yourself. You broke your own arm, ma'am. You took your own freedom from you away, all because you wanted to record us. Because as you can see, let's read the article now. Despicable what happened to this woman. Absolutely despicable. New York City Public Advocate, who was an elected official in New York City, by the way. The NYPD broke the law that I wrote when they tackled and arrested a grandmother in a precinct house. The NYPD's rule barring any member of the public from recording what police officers do when they're inside a police station is unlawful under New York City's administrative code, according to a new amicus brief filed by public advocate Jumaine Williams in the lawsuit brought by a woman arrested and injured by police who believe she was recording them. Williams has reason to be familiar with the legislative intent of the city's right to record law, which guarantees the public broad rights to record the police. He wrote it. So the current New York City Public Advocate was a legislator in New York City and wrote the Right to Record the Police Act. It's a ordinance, and the New York Police Department, a bunch of tyrants and thugs and gangsters that they are, they think they can just override the law. Forget that it's unconstitutional. That's first and foremost, it's unconstitutional, right? It violates the First Amendment, but also it's in violation of New York City law. Insane. Can't make this up. As Hellgate first reported, Patricia Rodney went into the Brooklyn 62nd Precinct house on December 2nd, 2020 to pick up a police report for her lost blood sugar monitor, which she needed in order for her insurance company to replace it. Instead, as video evidence shows, police officers threw her to the ground where she was screaming and crying. It's horrific. Watch the full video. Absolutely horrific what they did to that woman. Believing that she had been recording them while she stood in the vestibule of the precinct house. Then they hauled her to court, where she was charged with resisting arrest, obstruction of governmental administration, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass. Rodney was later treated for a broken arm that she sustained in her arrest. Rodney sued the NYPD for false arrest, denial of fair trial, excessive force, and significantly the violation of her constitution and statutory right to film the police. The NYPD lawyers from the city's law department have countered that Rodney has no claim and her suit should be tossed out, in part because she wasn't actually recording the police. So the NYPD's legal team, brilliant scholars that they are, they say, well, she wasn't even really recording us. She was pretending to record us. So, there's no First Amendment violation. Ridiculous. There's no First Amendment right to pretend to record, the NYPD argues in its motion to dismiss. The officer's actions cannot have chilled the exercise of the plaintiff's First Amendment rights. Indeed, she was not exercising them. Rodney's lawyers counter that just because a grandmother in a stressful situation didn't get it together to make her phone actually record doesn't mean she wasn't trying to. I agree. A police station house is a non-public forum, the NYPD argues. And while police station houses are generally held open to the public, they are open to the public and publicly accessible, the privilege to enter and use the space may be regulated to prevent interference with the property's ordinary use. Now, we get this argument a lot. What does quietly recording, how does that affect the ordinary use of the public building? It doesn't. It's ridiculous. The public forum doctrine was implemented for expressive activities like protest, not freedom of press. In that context, it includes barring the right to record police activities a constitutionally appropriate restriction. Not, and we're going to prove them wrong. I promise you that. In any case, the NYPD says the cops didn't arrest Rodney because she was filming or pretending to film, but because she was blocking the doorway and wouldn't leave. Rodney's lawyers counter that she was not blocking the entryway since police body camera footage shows both police officers and members of the public going in and out of the station without difficulty. Again, the NYPD is lying. They're just flat out lying when there's video evidence. Sounds like a lot of law enforcement agencies I've dealt with. Police didn't violate New York State's right to record law, the NYPD argues. So the NYPD is arguing that they didn't violate the law, the NYPD's the New York State's right to record law, when the person who wrote it is saying that they did and is suing them in federal court. Because that law expressly permits police to arrest someone filming them when there is probable cause to arrest a person for a crime defined in the penal law involving obstructing government administration. Obstructing is a physical offense. Obstruction in carrying out lawful duties. Read the statute. You're obstructing a police officer from carrying out lawful duties. Preventing someone from exercising their First Amendment rights and violating New York City law is not a lawful duty at all. Rather unlawful. Perhaps significantly, the motion to dismiss doesn't address the New York City's own right to record legislation, first put forward in 2016 and finally adopted in 2020 as part of a raft of legislation responding to the George Floyd uprising. The city ordinance, section 14-189B of the Administrative Code, makes no exception for people charged with obstruction of governmental administration. It also contains no exception for police precincts. So, what they're referring to here is the New York State law, the right to record law that was passed by the state. The person who wrote, the public advocate, wrote the New York City law, and they didn't even mention that. They don't mention their own laws. There's no exceptions for police precincts in the law. And unfortunately for the NYPD, the primary author of the New York City's Right to Record Act when he was in the New York City Council is Jermaine Williams, now the public advocate. In an amicus brief just filed in Rodney's case by Williams and Latino Justice, a national civil rights organization, Williams leaves no doubt that his legislative intent was specifically to overrule the NYPD's ban on filming in a station house. So Jermaine Williams, the public advocate, an elected official, was the city council member who wrote this law, New York City's Right to Record Act, and his specific intent was to overrule the NYPD's ban in a station house, ban on filming in a station house. Yet they continue to do it. What type of lawlessness is going on here? The NYPD policy ignored the possibility of police misconduct occurring within police stations. Duh, of course it did. It also ignored that police officers themselves are allowed to record within their precincts. Again, good point. Williams writes in a declaration attached to the brief, in response in an attempt to end these prescriptive practices, the council codified the Right to Record Act, which defends which defended the right of citizens to record interactions with officers performing their official duties with the goal of deterring well-documented police misconduct in public spaces. We've talked about the misconduct in the NYPD. It's rampant. There's no accountability. And now you want to take away our right to record, including misconduct inside police spaces of the public spaces of the police station. Williams isn't the only council member who has made it clear that the city's Right to Record Act was meant to overturn the NYPD's filming ban. Donovan Richards, then chair of the council's Public Safety Committee, told the New York Times in 2018, the recording ban created a double standard in police stations where civilians with cell phones are forbidden from recording encounters that police officers with department-issued smartphones and body cameras can, and promised to raise the issue later that year when the committee he led took up the Right to Record Act. Law Department spokesperson Nick Palucci denied that the city is making any changes. Reports that the city is considering rescinding the NYPD's policy prohibiting filming in precincts are false. That policy exists for security purposes and to protect the privacy, no privacy in public, of individuals, including victims of crimes. No, it's not. That has nothing to do with it, and we all know it. It has nothing to do with protecting any victims. It's about creating victims by the NYPD, and for the NYPD to get away with their tyranny and lawlessness. That's what it's about. They say they are reviewing the public advocate's amicus brief. Where the lawsuit goes from here remains to be seen. Discovery is proceeding in the case at a hearing before a federal magistrate judge last month. Rodney's lawyer expressed doubt that the NYPD's lawyers would agree to any settlement that included rescinding the NYPD's filming ban. John Schmitz, the law department attorney representing the city and the NYPD in the case, suggested that anything is possible. So the NYPD definitely needs to get their act together. They're in violation of not only the United States Constitution that they took an oath to uphold, but New York City and New York State law on our right to record law enforcement in the course of their duty. It's completely despicable. They are above the law. This is not, pretend anymore. And if you're okay with law enforcement officers being above the law because you consider them to be heroes, then you're part of the problem. You are the reason why tyranny is going to run rampant in this country. But we, the people, outnumber all the sheep, and we need to do something about it. In the description of this video, our contact information for our senators in New York, as well as the New York City Mayor, Eric Adams, who's a former police officer. But we need to call these numbers, not only just post on Facebook and send emails. We need to actually pick up the phone and call them. Call them. Let the issue be known. All the information's in the description. Peacefully petition your grievances to your government. It's your First Amendment right. If we see these videos, and before I started my auditing career, I watched auditing videos all the time, every single day, like many of you. And I was so, taken aback by the ignorance of not only the general public, but especially law enforcement. And that's why I decided to fight for change. All you have to do is pick up a phone and peacefully petition your grievances to your government. That is also your First Amendment right, just like our First Amendment right to record government officials in the course of their duty. So I encourage all of you to do that. And you'll want to do it after you see this video here. This is another insane video where an auditor was arrested simply for filming on a sidewalk. So now it's not even in precincts. It's the sidewalk now. That's what they want to control everything. It's ridiculous. So it's by Good Guy Audits. Let me bring it up here. He's an activist in New York City. Let's watch this video. It's completely horrendous. Always, do you need help with something? How does do you need help with something always end in the citizen being put on the ground or having their rights violated and their freedom taken from them and their property stolen? Hey, you need help with something? No, I don't need help. Leave me alone.
No, I'm okay. I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
Why?
I can't get into it.
I mean, you can because you're at the recording door. Why?
I can't talk about it.
So then if you can't talk about it, why don't you move along then?
Why don't you move on and do your job?
I'm sorry, I'm reading something.
Okay, well, you can read something somewhere else. Move along. Sir, if I have to ask you again, I'm going to have to call you an ambulance. It seems like something's wrong
Why would you say that?
Because it seems like you're acting erratic in the street.
Erratic?
They're trying to EDP, emotionally disturbed person, which is another low-life tyrant tactic by the NYPD, where they think you're an emotionally disturbed person and they call and they can put you under a mental health lockdown or ridiculous.
Exactly, straight.
Oh, do the people have to talk to the police?
You're acting strange
Right, we
because
have
you're
the
not
Fifth
talking
Amendment,
to the
right?
police,
Yeah, but
ladies and
you're approaching
gentlemen.
us coming to us.
That's fine. This is public property. We're just taking pictures on the sidewalk.
Yeah, exactly.
New Yorkers own it. New York owns it. The people pay taxes. We fund these vehicles. I don't need your help, sir. I'm just taking pictures in public on the sidewalk. I am having a good day.
So they go home.
I don't want to go home. I want to take pictures of the car.
You can't take pictures of the car
I can't? Why not?
because it's strange. You're saying that you're here recording a vehicle and have no reason.
Do you honestly think that it's strange for people to take pictures in public? Do you honestly think that?
You can take pictures in public.
So why is it strange? So why are you trying to? So why are you trying to go down the EDP road? It's not going to work, and it's not going to stand up in court. Go ahead, sure. I want to see it.
Recording a vehicle that is parked on the street, it brings suspicion that someone may be canvassing the vehicle and trying to commit a crime in the future. So it's our job to deter that crime. So now that we approach you and ask you, what do you do with the vehicle? And your response, and I quote, was, I can't discuss it. Now we have an issue.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. So
I'm working. I'm working on a story, and if I
finish my sentence, now
sure, let me know when you finish so I can talk. Okay.
I'm trying to resolve that issue, and you're still giving me a talk back instead of trying to let me help.
God
you resolve
forbid.
the issue. So I'm gonna ask you again. How can we help you?
Are you done talking? Can I talk now?
Yes, I asked you a question. How can we help you?
Right. So, do I have to speak to you at any point?
When you're recording a vehicle,
Do I have to speak? Do I have to speak to you at any point?
Yes.
No, I don't. Never. I never had to talk to you. I'm
Okay,
on
so
the sidewalk.
You want to do that, brother? Fine.
I'm on the sidewalk.
Carry on.
There's a third option. You can respect my rights and go back to work.
That's a
So why
great
is he trying to
option.
EDP me?
Great option.
Because you're here.
Why are you trying to EDP me?
Because you're acting like an EDP.
I'm taking pictures of public property on a traditional public forum. Recording, yeah. Taking pictures, recording.
Okay, sir.
The First Amendment. Remember you swore to.
Here's our options.
Do you remember that you swore to protect my rights?
Here's our options. You can either A, take a walk, or B, I can take you back to the precinct and give you a C summons for disorderly conduct. What's gonna be the choice?
You're gonna turn
Sir,
photography
I'm gonna give you an
into a
option. What's
crime?
gonna be the choice?
Let me get your card and I need your card.
Are you gonna walk off?
You have a supervisor
Sir, are you
here?
gonna walk off?
Yes, I will.
Okay, then have a good day.
After our conversation, I need your card first.
Sir, have a good day.
I'm
I have to say it one more time. I'm gonna put you in handcuffs. Have a good day. Are you gonna walk? Okay.
And then he proceeds to be arrested, thrown to the ground. Again, if I show too much, YouTube will stop this video from, being seen by as many people as possible. But it's infuriating. How can you not watch that video? And that is a recent video that just happened a month ago, I believe. So again, shout out to Good Guy Audits. He's doing a great job out in New York City. He's fighting for our freedoms. He doesn't get vulgar or anything like that, so I appreciate that. This is the way we affect change. So shout out to him. The link to the full video and unedited at all is going to be in the description of this video. But it's infuriating. It reminded me, traveling the country and doing what I do, I don't watch too many First Amendment audits anymore, especially because, I have a family and everything. But I don't have a lot of time. But, when people do send me videos, I do watch them. And that video infuriated me. And what are we going to do? Call the precinct? They don't care. They don't care. We need to call our elected officials, the mayor of New York City, the Senator Chuck Schumer, Senator Tim Scott of New York. We need to call these elected officials and demand change. Demand that the NYPD stop violating New York State and New York City law and the United States Constitution. How about that for starters? Stop arresting the people that that we put in a position of authority. We entrust them with authority to uphold the laws in this country, not to be tyrants. Tyranny has no place in this country, and I'm sick and tired of the NYPD and any law enforcement agency across this country, because I've been to almost every state, and I'll be going to every state soon. And every single one, law enforcement, there are certain law enforcement agencies out there that have this mentality, this ego, this ignorance of the law. It's despicable. And the worst part is, I'll say it again, a lot of people talk about training, the lack of training in police department, in law enforcement. It's the lack of accountability. Law enforcement officers aren't held accountable, which is so ironic because their whole job is to hold people accountable for violating the law. Yet they continually violate the law and violate the oath that they took to uphold the United States Constitution, and nothing happens to them unless you unalive someone in broad daylight on camera. You're not held accountable, and it's ridiculous. You can lie in internal affairs. I have some follow-up videos coming, from previous videos. I don't let things go. We the people. So I'm heightened right now, not only because of the NYPD, because I'm dealing with the situation now. You'll see coming up. I'll release the video. Stay tuned. But it's horrible. The lack of accountability. It's disgusting and it's disturbing. We the people. Where did we lose our power? Where did we lose our power over the government? The government is supposed to fear us, not the other way around. So we need to come together. The numbers are in the description of this video. Please, everyone, I am asking each and every one of you, make that phone call. I want Senator Chuck Schumer, Tim Scott, and the New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who's a former law enforcement officer. I want them to understand that we, the people, will hold them accountable in elections. They need to know that this is a big deal for us. Our freedom. What is a bigger deal than our freedom? People worry about debt ceilings and all types of problems we have in this country. And again, it's not about Republican or Democrat. I don't care what party you're affiliated with. I'm not affiliated with either one of them. I'm affiliated with We the People Party, the people of the United States. That political party nonsense is meant to divide us and keep us distracted from the elites and the politicians. Nothing more. Because they get along, they're having dinner, they argue in front of cameras, and then they get along and stab us behind the back. They don't care about us, and we need to make them care about us. We need to make them care about us. Let me take some look at the chat really quick. Please hit the like button, share this live. We need the world to see this. I love having this platform because I can use this platform to fight for the people. Can fight for the Patricia Rodneys of the world who are a 61-year-old grandmother who has her arm broken by the NYPD. And I guarantee you every single one of those tyrants is still collecting a paycheck. Why? Why are we allowing this to happen? Oh, man. All right, let me see some super chats really quick. Buster Peak. I'm sorry to break it to you, Sean, but crying to your elected officials won't work either. Well, we have to do something, right? And I don't cry, so, I'm not crying to them. I'm demanding change. We, the people, need to demand change. We have to do something, or are we just going to do nothing and say, oh, that's horrible that woman had her arm broken. That's horrible that Good Guy Audits was arrested for simply exercising a constitutionally protected activity on a sidewalk. Like, that's just okay? No. Scalzo photo. As of now, victims can't record, and a person making a officer complaint can't record. That makes the no recording sign unethical as well as unconstitutional. Sometimes officers won't come outside. I 100% agree with you, Scalzo. Don't give up exposing them. Of course, I will never give up. I promise you that. I will always use this platform, and this platform, I only have it because of each and every one of you. We, the people, we came together and we created this platform, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do, because together we're strong and we're going to do it. I promise you. All right, guys, I'm going to be getting out of here. I have to get back to editing some video. Stay tuned for this week. I have some really good content coming out. We're exposing government officials everywhere in the United States, and we'll be going to some interesting places soon. So, as always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit. Oh, before I go, numbers are in the description. Call them. I don't normally tell you to call anyone. If you feel the need, it's your First Amendment right. But I'm telling you, peacefully petition your grievances to your government because it's that important. Peace.